slow and subtle or loud and fast? It's one of the first questions a lake commando asks when faced with a brand new lake. But if you give the fish a chance, more often than not, the answer will soon be obvious.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos.
A lonely dirt road through the wilderness. Exactly the kind of place you'd expect to find a couple of veteran lake commandos on the hunt for unfamiliar waters and an unknown bite. For Steve Panaz and Abu Garcia brand manager Andrew Wheeler, these are the kinds of roads that lead to the very best battlefields.
All right, I know you're studying the lake. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it actually looks like a round bowl. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty deep. Looks like it's got some very good water clarity. So it's
how deep?
It says maximum depth around 75 feet, but average 75 feet. Yeah, but the average depth's about 15.
Holy cow! Well, what's water clarity?
Around about 10 feet.
Oh man, I'm thinking deep right away. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a deep game today.
This small, out-of-the-way lake looks very unassuming from above, but below the surface lies just over 700 acres of varied depths, points, humps, holes, and weed lines. The mission on this elaborate maze of habitat is as straightforward as it gets. Locate and catch clear-water, late-summer largemouth bass.
Hey, Andrew may have flown all the way from South Carolina to be here right now, but he's going down today. No mercy whatsoever. Game on right now. And it's going to start with this rig right here. We're going to start with an Abu Garcia Revo MGX Extreme 7 1-to-1 retrieve ratio. Super smooth, awesome drag. We got it loaded with 12-pound trialing 100% fluorocarbon. Super clear water. I like fishing slow-moving baits on fluoro. It's nearly invisible and it keeps the baits down. It's awesome. And this is the secret to it all. 10-inch power worm. We're fishing big bass today. We're fishing these 15 to 20, 21-inch bass this lake is known for, and this is going to take it, especially since we're dealing with a cold front. For a hook, this is a 4/0 offset worm hook. It's a Fusion 19. It's a Berkeley product, brand new. Check it out. But this is the rig that's taking Andrew Wheeler down today.
Well, Steve thinks he's going to go soft, and he thinks that's going to be the deal today, but I tell you, today it's all about the hard bait. We have today a Veritas 2.0 7.6 medium heavy action winch rod, very parabolic, perfect for these crankbaits. Also have a Revo SX in a 6.4-to-1 loaded with Berkeley Trilene 10 pound. This water is very clear, so we're trying to keep the line as thin as we possibly can. New Berkeley digger bait. These are a perfect crankbait designed by David Fritz. It's going to be perfect for these deeper waters, especially where you have these humps that are really rising up, and I think this is going to be a perfect bait to really target those bass that are sitting on the edges, especially around those weed lines. I'm originally from Australia. I'm a long way from home, living now in South Carolina, but I've lived up and grown all around fish my whole life, fished around the world, so I think I've got it over Steve today.
How much water we got, Andrew?
Probably about 2.5 feet right here, so...
Is it going to come off?
I think it's going to come off.
Andrew, come back a little more. We have liftoff! Yeehaw!
The weather for this mission is near perfect, with cloudless skies, air temps in the 70s, water temps in the 60s, and a very light wind.
Holy cow. I mean, look at this structure here. I like this hump.
I like that.
I like this.
Yeah, this structure down here, it's got a really nice shallow tongue that sticks out to the edge of some deep water there. I think it's going to be perfect for some habitat
So Andrew, as guest, you have the option of going first or second. We each get 2 hours with our pattern. Whatever pattern produces the most gets control of the boat for the rest of the day. So you want this to produce, but we can start with you or we can start with me. What do you prefer?
Well, let's start with you.
All right.
I'll let you have home field advantage.
All right. All right, we'll take it. I haven't fished a Texas rig worm in a while. It feels so old school.
It does, doesn't it? It's so effective, no matter where you go.
Trying to make that first contact. That first fish is always the toughest one.
That's got him.
Fish?
Yep.
Ooh, nice one too. No, no. Nice fish though.
He actually ate that.
No, he's bigger than I thought.
Not a bad little pretty fish right there.
So the Commando from down under draws first blood on Panaz's pattern. Can Wheeler keep it up, or can Panaz defend the homeland?
Ooh, 2! We got a school up here.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Power pole, shallow water anchor, swift, silent, secure. Abu Garcia, for life. Fraybill, trusted gear since 1938. Berkeley Power Bait, fish bite and won't let go. And by Quebec Outfitters, enter to win your ultimate fishing trip. Lake Commandos' Steve Panaz and Andrew Wheeler are engaged in a head-to-head largemouth bass battle, and early on, Wheeler has the upper hand. But that shouldn't be a surprise to Panaz, because this Australian native is one of the most well-traveled anglers in the world. From his home waters around Australia to the lakes and rivers of North America and most everywhere in between. As brand manager for Abu Garcia, Andrew Wheeler has explored unknown waters and caught fish all over the world.
So we headed to an offshore hump. We found some fish right away. Andrew caught 2, I think I got 1, maybe 2. But what was nice about the spot is it helped us identify where the fish were. They weren't on the deep weed edge in that 17, 16, 18 feet of water. They were up in that zone between, say, 11 and 13. And once we nailed that down, it made the rest of the day a lot easier.
It's hard to beat a Texas rig worm. You can catch fish virtually anywhere in the country on a Texas rig worm. It's turning out to be an interesting body of water. I'm feeling pretty confident that we're going to really figure it out today. Well, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not sure about Steve. He's a little slow on the board yet, but...
But as it turned out, Panaz was just getting warmed up.
Woo! Ooh, 2! We got a school up here. Look at the bait on the screen. There's a whole bunch of gills on there. What is this? Ooh, that's a nice one. Look at that one. Beauty. Boy, sometimes when you get them in that soft spot, you can get a bigger hook hole. That's where it's important to have a little softer rod tip and some give in your presentation, but nice fish. One of the things about worms, it's a lot more versatile. These baits are a lot more versatile than people think. You can fish them slow, but you can also fish them fast. One of the big things that happened today is I had a bass hit the worm at the rod tip. These fish were more aggressive than I'd give them credit for. He came up off the bottom and ate it at the rod tip. It's a good fish too. Did you? I mean,
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how much line was out. Unbelievable. Oh, man. Good fish too. That's not typical. You're reeling in a worm and a fish came out of the 15 feet of water to eat this thing. Up by 3.
With time running out on the power worm pattern, Panaz is in control, but Wheeler isn't done yet.
Nice fish here. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, nice fatty as well. It was very, very tight, especially as we started to move into the second quarter where it was my turn to fish, and we basically ended up Steve's session with a even number of fish, so it was really tight with the Texas rig.
Well, Andrew, it's your turn.
Time to switch it out.
Yep, I'm up by 1. When we were going into the cranks, I was really concerned for a couple reasons. One, Andrew was going to have the front of the boat and be able to control the boat and position it for casts that work well for him. He's throwing a Digger 8.5. I'm going to throw a Wild Thing. They run about the same depth. This one has a lot more erratic action. He's throwing it on 10 pound. I'm throwing it on 8 pound. I'm hoping just to get a little bit deeper.
Oh yeah.
Fish?
Yeah.
Already?
Yep.
What color you got on?
Pink with purple polka dots. Look at that.
Nice.
Beautiful little fish. First little fish on there. This is a little guy, but he wanted that crankbait.
You just tied it up. I don't care how big he is.
Now we're on an even playing field. Steve's not as cocky anymore. We're only halfway through this commando battle. Absolutely nothing is settled. And it appears Wheeler's crankbait pattern is on fire.
Fish. Whoa, did he hit that?
Whoa.
Whoa.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, built for the wild. On a commando mission for late summer largemouth, Steve Panaz and Andrew Wheeler began the day with a slow and subtle Texas rig worm. The results were solid, but now they've turned up the heat, switching to Andrew's Berkeley Digger crankbait program, and the bass are liking it fast.
Fish. Whoa, did he hit that?
Whoa.
Whoa. Is that a bass? Oh yeah.
Nice fish.
Nice. Look at the size of that guy. He's got all 4 hooks too. Look at that guy. Woo! He crushed this bait. I love it when you get a.
Oh yeah.
You got one?
Yep.
I got a double on cranks. It doesn't bode well for the good guys. Yeah. Let the big one go. Nice. Good pattern, young man.
Steve might not be the biggest fish, but all tied up again.
Hey, one of the spots that we fished immediately with the crankbaits was the best spot that we had worm fishing, and we put 3 or 4 fish in the boat relatively fast with the crankbaits. But then we started working down the weed line, and we went for 15, 20 minutes, half hour without a bite. And that's when I went from a pattern of a bright blue bait to a perch pattern. And it comes to I use the aqua view to look down and see what kind of bait we're seeing. It's a clean bottom, relatively clean bottom here. We're seeing juvenile bluegill, but we also saw a lot of small perch. And the digger comes in a perch pattern, and so I tie one on just to try it. And it was the right choice. Fish, Andrew.
Nice.
Oh, I got one.
Got one?
Yeah, and another fish.
Oh, look. Yeah.
That's a fish. Face full of digger, man. Look at that. You know what's interesting is when you're fishing head-to-head sometimes, when you start tweaking presentations, colors, line, read, the reel, the speed, you start seeing these differences. Now we're fishing head-to-head right here, but this bait is just outproducing some of the stuff that we've got that Andrew's fishing in terms of just this whole package is working better, and you don't notice that unless you're fishing different presentations.
So I found Steve's secret stash. He had another one of these little guys stashed back there, so nice perch pattern is what he's doing the damage on right now, and I'm falling behind, so I've got to try and keep up.
There we go. Drag slippage. Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice.
Yes. Is that a crankbait eating fish right there?
Yeah.
Look at that.
This crankbait bite seems to be pretty good right now.
Look at that. This Digger 8.5 is called an 8.5 because it runs down to about 8.5 feet. we're running over the grass. Now we're not fishing 8 feet of water, we're fishing about 13 feet of water, but we're trying to keep this right above the grass. And what we're finding is when we go across flats, we're not getting as many bites, but when we run parallel to the break line and stay in about 13 feet, cast parallel and bring it along there, that's when we're really starting to nail them. And got him. Got him?
Yep. Decent.
Oh, that is a nice one. Boy, he ate that bait.
He crushed it. Bigger gone.
Yeah.
It's been a back and forth battle, but the Commandos have zeroed in on both the best location and the optimum presentation. So it could be lights out for the largemouth from here on out.
I got another fish. You see I cranked it like twice.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. Yeti, built for the wild. And by Aquaview, see what's really down there. On a small Clearwater lake, the Lake Commandos have dialed in the bite. Steve Panaz has a slight lead on Andrew Wheeler, but it's about to get quite a bit bigger.
Oh,
Got him?
yeah. The wild thing. I think I love you. That's a nice fish. That's my best one yet.
Yeah, that's a nice fish.
Andrew, look at this bass.
That's a nice fish.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah. You ate that crank too, didn't you?
The wild thing, first fish I've ever caught on it. Boom!
Decent size?
Yeah, it is. Hey, based on the survey information, I knew this lake had a lot of good fish in it, but really I didn't expect us to put 35 to 40 fish in a boat. What a great day on the water. Got one?
Yep.
Big fish? Whoa, taking drag, baby.
Perch color does it again.
Yeah. Perch.
Nice perch color.
Perch, baby. Hey, crankbaits allow you to cover a lot of water and you can cover wide swaths, but these baits can be precision baits as well. I think one of the differences between my presentation and Andrew's today, I was casting closer to the weed line and focusing more there, and I think that's what gave me a slight advantage.
Good fish.
That's a bruiser. Let me get the net for you on that one. Nice.
Perfect.
Whoa, look at the bait came out.
I opened his mouth and it came straight out.
Is he breaking 4?
He's probably like 3 in the beard. Nice fish though.
Yeah.
Good solid fish. I've watched a few Lake Commando shows, and so I had a little bit of an idea what was going to happen, but it was really interesting just picking a lake out on a map, taking a look at the details of it on the DNR website, and seeing which ones look good, and then just dropping the boat, and you never know what's going to happen.
That's got him. Fish? Yeah. Ooh, good one. You in the grass?
Ooh.
Here, let me get the net. That's a big fish.
He just come unbuttoned.
No!
Yeah.
That was a bruiser.
He just come unbuttoned. The joys of crankbait fishing. Sometimes they come unbuttoned.
You know,
That one hurts.
that was a big fish. That was the biggest fish of the day so far. Right at the side of the boat, dude.
You ate that pretty close.
They're chasing. Ooh, that's a nice fish. Look at that.
Oh, that's a good fish.
I'm gonna have to lip him. I'm not gonna be able to lip
You want
him.
the net?
You know what? I'm gonna belly grab him here. Oh, fun way to end the day, huh? Big fish. I've had a blast though. We've got a lot of fish today. It was fun. Your pattern was awesome.
Yeah, it really got the bass going today.
Look at that. Well, the good news we had a ball. The bad news is if you're gonna win Commander, you have to come back.
Yeah, you got me by a few today, so
Yeah.
But I'll take it. It's been a phenomenal day. The fishing's been just awesome, and I mean, anytime you can go catch a largemouth on a crankbait and have a really nice crankbait bite, it's just a lot of fun.
So what'd you think of going to a new lake out of the blue and just fishing it?
No, it's been a great experience. I mean, just pulling up, looking at the map and looking at the GPS and just trying to figure out where you think fish are going to hold. And it's been very interesting, but really, really fun. Thank you very much.
Dude, there'll be a rematch.
Yeah.
There'll be a rematch.
Thank you.
Hey, if you want to win what works for us, visit LakeCommandos.com or check out our Facebook page.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos.
I like fluorocarbon for a couple of reasons. It virtually disappears underwater. That allows me to use a heavier size, but it's also very abrasion resistant, which allows me to use a lighter size when necessary. You want to match your fluorocarbon's breaking strength to your target species. Say 20 or 30 pound test for redfish, but heck, when we're throwing topwater poppers to tunas, we'll use 50, maybe even 60 pound tests. But when it comes to the big boys like the marlin or heck the swordfish, we're going to use 150, 200, 300, heck, all the way up even to 400 pound test.
I can tell you this, you talk about a freight train, that was a freight train there. Ah, there he is. Fluorocarbon is the key to all these bites we're getting. And right here, I'm using 30 pound test, and it's about a 15-foot leader when I started off. That way, when we've got a fish right up to the boat, we can actually reel the leader onto the rod. That'll give me a little more safety, if you will. I won't be touching that braid when I've got the line between my fingers. I like that, but also like the ability to be able to clip it back should it get abraded. You know, I always use a fluorocarbon leader. To me, it's just second nature. You want to catch fish, you want to get the bite, you got to go fluoro.
Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.